Ever wondered why learning something new often feels like a Herculean task? It's a common sentiment, isn't it? The mere thought of diving into the unknown can be overwhelming, and that's before we even consider the challenges of retention, understanding complex concepts, and the time commitment involved. These hurdles often seem insurmountable, leading many of us to abandon our learning pursuits. However, fear not, as we have compiled the top 7 ways to make learning easier, faster, and more enjoyable. First up, embrace the learning curve. Picture yourself standing at the base of a hill. This hill represents your learning curve. It might seem steep at first, but don't let that intimidate you. The climb is part of the process. Now, let's break down what a learning curve really means. It's a graphical representation of how we improve and gain skills over time. At the beginning, the climb is steep, meaning you might struggle a bit. That's perfectly normal and part of the learning process. But here's the good news. As you persist, the curve becomes less steep. This means you're improving, getting better at whatever you're learning. The struggle lessens and progress becomes more noticeable. So don't be disheartened when things seem tough initially. The key to climbing this hill, this learning curve, is understanding that the struggle is part of the process. It's not a barrier, but a stepping stone towards mastery. Remember, the first step is always the hardest. Secondly, break it down. Imagine you're standing in front of a mountain, tasked with the daunting challenge of moving it. Seems impossible, right? But what if you could break that mountain down into small rocks? Suddenly, each rock seems a lot more manageable. That's exactly what we're doing when we break down a large task into smaller chunks. Learning something new can often feel like that mountain, looming and overwhelming. But when you break it down, each piece becomes a stepping stone towards your goal. Whether it's mastering a new language or learning how to play an instrument, breaking it down into smaller tasks can turn the seemingly impossible into the possible. Think of it as a puzzle. Each small task is a piece of the puzzle. As you learn and master each piece, you're slowly but surely completing the picture. So remember, don't shy away from the big tasks. By breaking it down, you make the task less daunting. Thirdly, practice regularly. There's a reason why this saying is so popular. Practice makes perfect. It's because it's true. When we're learning something new, our brains are creating new pathways. These pathways strengthen each time we use them. So if you're learning to play the piano, each time you play a note, the pathway in your brain that remembers how to play that note gets a little stronger. This is why regular practice is so important. Consistency is key. If we only practice sporadically, those pathways don't get the chance to strengthen and we find ourselves struggling. But if we practice regularly, we're giving our brains the opportunity to cement that new skill or knowledge. It's like laying a brick road. Each brick is a practice session. The more bricks we lay, the stronger and smoother our road becomes. So remember, when it comes to learning anything new, consistent practice makes perfect. Fourthly, use different learning methods. Imagine having a toolbox. In it, you have a variety of tools, each with its unique function. Similarly, your learning toolbox should come with an assortment of methods, each tailored for different types of learning. Visual learning, for instance, involves using images, charts, and diagrams. It is a stellar method for those who find it easier to understand information when it's presented in a graphical or pictorial form. On the other hand, auditory learning, which involves listening to information, is perfect for those who absorb knowledge better through lectures or audiobooks. Lastly, kinesthetic learning is for those who prefer a hands-on approach, learning best by doing or through physical activity. By using a mix of these methods, you can enhance your understanding and retention of new knowledge. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to learning. Varying your learning methods will help cater to your unique learning style. Fifthly, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's right, there's no shame in acknowledging that you don't know everything. In fact, it's a sign of strength and wisdom. When you're learning something new, it's normal to encounter hurdles that seem insurmountable. But guess what? Someone out there has probably faced the same challenge and found a way around it. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, an online community, or even a good old-fashioned book, there's a wealth of knowledge out there waiting to be tapped into. Seeking help can provide new perspectives, shortcuts, and solutions that you might not have thought of. It's like having a personal guide, helping you navigate through the maze of new information. So when the going gets tough, don't hesitate to reach out. Ask questions, seek advice, and be open to feedback. Remember, the fastest learners are often those who are not afraid to ask for help. Remember, everyone needs help sometimes. Sixthly, keep a positive mindset. It's the secret weapon often overlooked in the journey of learning. When we approach new concepts with positivity, we create a nurturing environment for our minds to grasp and retain information. Think about it like this. Our minds are akin to fertile soil, and our attitude is the weather that influences growth. A sunny, positive attitude can cultivate an environment where seeds of knowledge can sprout and grow. A positive mindset doesn't just make learning more enjoyable, it also increases our resilience, enabling us to bounce back from setbacks and persist in the face of difficulties. It's about seeing every challenge as a stepping stone towards mastery rather than a roadblock. Remember, the process of learning is just as significant as the end result. So, embrace the journey with a smile, persist through the tough parts, and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. A positive mindset can turn challenges into opportunities. Lastly, remember to rest and reflect. Breaks are not idle time. They're crucial for knowledge consolidation. Reflecting on what you've learned helps you make connections and deepen understanding. Without rest and reflection, learning can lead to burnout. Rest and reflection are essential parts of the learning process. So, to recap the 7 ways to learn anything: embrace the learning curve, break it down, practice regularly, use different learning methods, ask for help, keep a positive mindset, and rest and reflect. With these 7 strategies, learning anything new will become a breeze.